Nothing. The goal is still to, go out there Sunday, play our best, win the game. I've been through this a couple times.
How hard is it for you, personally?
It's tough. It's you develop a relationship with somebody. You get to learn like what they want, their ways, and they get to learn you as well. So it's tough. It's like a breakup.
How did you find out, Brian? When did you kind of get the word?
Found out when everybody else found out.
Did you meet like with the team, or did you see it on social media? That kind of thing is what I mean.
I was working out when the news dropped. I came back in and they told me.
How much of a relationship do you have with Mike? I mean, Mike's been on the offensive side of the ball all this time. How much of a relationship do the guys on the defensive side have with him right now?
I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but me personally, we haven't had like a ton of conversations. But we've talked like throughout the halls and like out in practice. But we haven't had like any in-depth conversations besides now.
So it's a learning process.
Yeah.
You were pretty demonstrative, Brian, after the game and support that it's not the coaches, it's everybody. It's one of those things. So. Is there any feeling of I guess, how do you process the feeling when you then kind of said what you did and then come out that they did end up making the coaching change?
This is the nature of the business. Like I said, I've been through this a couple times, so it's not like brand new to me. I kind of understand how the business goes and how things operate. So it's still tough at the end of the day. It's not nothing you get used to, but I've been through it.
You feel it was necessary?
Anybody else has something to say?
Brian, what changes for the defense? Anything?
We pretty much obviously we got the same scheme, same coordinator. Everything is pretty much the same as far as the game.
Do you expect, he's a new head coach, do you expect Kafka to want tweaks to the defense? Or is that something that has remained? Like you said, you've been through this. Does the interim head coach usually come in and make changes on the other side of the ball, or just kind of lets that coordinator run things the way they are?
I think it depends on his expertise. When I went through the coaching change with Matt Rule, Wooks kind of took over, our defense, but that's what he does. So I don't know if he's going to make any tweaks or not. We'll know the more we game plan for the practice.
Brian, as a team leader and a captain, what would you hope comes out of this in this locker room? Your coach was fired, and because of the record, you've talked about the players' responsibility. What would you hope the reaction is this moving forward in this locker room and on the field?
I hope the guys would, stick together, come together, come even closer. I kind of just told them, with situations like this, everybody's under evaluation, even though this is happening, nobody's going to turn on the film and be like, this was after Daboll got fired, that's why he's playing this way. Nobody cares. So I was told him, if there was ever a time to play your best ball, it's now. If there's ever a time to bond together, stick together, it's now.
You told that to the team?
Did the players, after Brian let go, did you guys meet together as a whole, just players after the firing?
No.
Brian, is there almost a sense of regret? You mentioned you're all in this together, but still, personally speaking, you feel like you kind of let Coach Daboll down a little bit?
I do personally. That's just me, though. I don't know about everybody else.
What are the challenges when an interim coach comes in from your experience before to kind of keep the team together and then keep playing well?
Just dealing with the change. Obviously, a lot of things are different. The schedule is going to change. Just everything, the mood might change. Just dealing with that. But if everybody, go about it the right way, professional way, it shouldn't be too much of a distraction.
Have you seen it where, you're talking about guys going about it the right way? Have you seen, after a change like this where some guys don't go about it the right way?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, you don't want that.
Are you going to be more vigilant to keeping an eye out for those guys and getting them right?
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of, lead by example, lead from the front, and, just call guys up to the standard, pull guys along with me. Because I've been through this, I know how it should look and how it should go, so.
Is it a situation where, after the way you guys lost again, it was almost like, was this a shock or not a shock?
It was definitely a shock. I mean, obviously, people write about and all that, but in here, as long as people are showing up to work and you show up to work, you assume they're going to be here. We never assume that somebody's going to be going. So it definitely was a shock to us as players, but, at the same time, we also understand the business and how it goes.
Is there a sense of, you give your all every day, but still at the end of the day, it resulted in somebody losing their job. Do you feel almost like a sense of regret?
not regret because, I mean, we tried, you know. It wasn't like, you know, we didn't, you know, go out there and give our best effort to get the wins that, you know, obviously would have ultimately helped him keep his job. We just weren't able to get that done. So, you know, I wouldn't say regret is the word, but I mean, obviously, you know, you feel for him, feel for his family, and, you know, wish him the best.
You
Guys,
were
you've
obviously,
known Mike for a while. Is he ready for this? What's he going to bring?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's done a great job of leading us as an offense. And obviously, you know, he gets to kind of expand his role into leading the entire team with defense and special teams. So, you know, I think he's ready for it. He does a great job of standing in front of the guys and kind of giving the charge and giving direction over the past couple of days. And obviously, you know, he's a good play caller. So, you know, I think he'll do a good job.
did you notice anything different about him today? Today was the first day you ever knew him as a head coach.
Yeah.
Did he seem any different to you? Do you look at him any different?
Yeah, I mean, I think he definitely had a lot of energy. You know, I feel like he was energized today. You know, he came in, you know, you could tell he was like had a positive mindset, an opportunistic mindset, you know, so to speak. And, you know, I think anybody that gets a chance to get a job and get a promotion, so to speak, you know, you should be that way.
We don't
Darius, what
see
would
a
you
lot
tell-
of we don't see a lot of his personality.
Yeah.
Is there more passion, more fire, more energy to him than maybe we've seen, you know, with him as the number 2?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's yes, for sure. You know, I think in a football setting, you know, whether that be in the meeting or in the sideline, I definitely think he has some fire and passion in him. But, you know, at the same time, he's probably naturally a little bit more of a calmer personality, so to speak. But, you know, that can be helpful, you know, especially in a high-pressure game like we're in, you know, week in and week out. You know, that calming presence can definitely be beneficial.
Darius, as a team leader, there, you know, you've gone through this before. There are some guys who haven't. So what would be your message to the guys who haven't gone through this, who maybe are uncertain right now?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the human nature thing would be, you know, we have 2 wins through 10 weeks and we have 7 weeks left. And, you know, some people would pack it in, you know, say our head coach got fired, whatever. But the reality of this league is that, you know, with change comes change. And you don't know whether or not you will or will not be a part of those changes. So it would behoove you as an individual to do your best over 7 weeks and give your best effort and try to get some wins on the board in order to try to keep yourself in the Giants uniform. So that's, you know, that's mostly what I'll tell guys. You know, it's like now's definitely not the time to relax. We need to go out there and try to put our best foot forward.
Are you going to have your antenna up to look for guys that maybe are kind of throwing in the towel prematurely?
No, because I don't think that'll be a problem on this team. We have the right kind of guys around here, and I think guys will go out there and give their best effort. But, you know, obviously, if this is your first time going through this, you just don't know. But I do know, you know. So, you know, I just try to share wisdom when I can.
It's a little bit different for you this time, I guess, because the last 2 coaches that got fired were at the end of the season, and now it's happening in the middle of the season. Like, how does that get processed differently, I guess, for you, the guys, when it happens in the middle of the season?
Yeah, in the middle of the season, obviously, it's like somebody gets promoted to interim. So it's more so shifting to that person, but in a span of 48 hours. As opposed to an off-season, it's like you sit, you wait, somebody gets announced, then you don't even see them until OTAs. Like, you have a lot of time to sit and, you know, get ready. But in season, you know, we've had 24, 36 hours, whatever, to, you know, get ready for Calf. But, you know, we're ready for him, and he seems to be ready, and we're ready to rock.
Is it just odd coming in today? You know, the guy who has been the head coach here for the last 3.5 years, he's a big presence here.
Yeah.
Is it odd to come in and he's gone? That's it. And somebody else is there.
Yeah, of course. He's a head coach. You know, you're obviously going to notice that presence being gone. But, you know, like I said, Cass filling the role, and I think he's going to do a great job, and we look forward to working with him.
Have you had questions from your defensive teammates who haven't really dealt with Cap much? What's he like? What can we expect?
Not a ton. But, you know, I just try to tell him what he's like, you know, as a guy, and, you know, what to kind of expect.
Sounds like you guys are going to have your 3rd different quarterback starting this week. Just we've seen a lot of energy, it looks like, from Jameis and stuff on the sidelines, whatnot. I mean, what is he going to bring this week?
Yeah, I think just positive energy. You know, Jameis is a positive guy, but he's also kind of an electric personality, so to speak. You know, a guy that, you know, draws people in and makes people believe. So, you know, look forward to playing with him this week.
He's a quarterback, Darius, that he's going to give his guys a chance.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
you know what I mean? I don't think there's too many 50-50 opportunities for him. He's going to give you a chance to tilt any odd.
For sure.
How does that change your mindset when you're out there?
You know, everybody's alive. Doesn't matter where you're running or what you're running. You know, he can gun it anywhere, and he will gun it anywhere. And as for a receiver, you know, that's what you love. You know, you love to have a chance. You love to feel like a guy that's going to give you a chance. And, you know, I think that's kind of been James' whole career is that type of MO and why he's led the league in passing before, you know. So, you know, like I said, I think he'll do a great job this week.
Could that energy be something, you know, considering everything that's going on, could that energy that he brings be something that's helpful?
For sure, of course. You know, I mean, I think everybody's kind of going about this, you know, the best way they can, adjusting as fast as they can. But obviously there's differences in how, you know, Days versus Cap approach things. There's small changes for us, but, I think on top of that, having somebody like James that's a steady presence, a veteran presence, definitely helps.
You been in contact with Daves?
Yeah, I'll talk to Daves a little bit.
I mean, what is your sense of him? Just let down that he's not here anymore? Or?
I mean, it's just tough. I mean, obviously, you never want to see somebody lose their job, and obviously, he's the one that drafted me and got me up here, and just a tough situation.
Do you feel like, not you personally, but do you feel like there's a sense of you guys let him down?
I mean, yeah. I mean, whenever you're losing games, you definitely feel like it's your fault, and what could I have done? What could I have done better just to make this situation not happen? So, but now, I mean, obviously, we got to move on and continue to try to win games.
Wan'Dale, how does that switch flip? Is it just as simple as this is a business and this is what we play for? Or, how do you move past the shock and turn it into something positive?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business. We all have a job to go out there and do what we do. And, I mean, just go out there and support CAF too. So just going out there and being complete and being a good football team.
You'll have a different quarterback throwing you passes this week. What is that infusion of a different personality in that huddle today?
I mean, I think you all pretty much know James pretty well, and great personality, great person, and I'm ready to go out there and play with James. Just at the end of the day, got to go out there and get open and catch the football for him.
When you look at him in practice at his age and his stage of his career, what do you see physically, compared to what he may have been a while ago?
I mean, he might not be able to run as well, but the ball still jumps out of his hand, and still able to get the ball wherever it needs to be, and making the reads where he's supposed to go. And so, just look forward to that on Sunday.
Looking at his history and his stats, I mean, everything is live.
Yeah, oh yeah. I say, yeah, no matter who's out there running, you better be ready to catch that ball. So, all routes are live with James back there. Even whenever he starts to create back in the backfield, so just got to be ready.
Does he throw a different type of ball than Jackson versus Russ?
I wouldn't say it's too different. I would say the deep ball may be a little bit different, but at the end of the day, it's football. You got to catch it.
In what way is the deep ball a little different?
I mean, obviously, Russ is like that moon ball, and Jameis is it's pretty similar, but it doesn't obviously just go right up in the sky like that. But at the end of the day, it's a pretty ball going up in there.
Wan'Dale, how do you make the most of these last 7 games?
I mean, at the end of the day, this is the last time that this full team will be together, and I love all these guys, and getting to know each and every one of these, each and every one of my teammates. So just wanted to play for them and go out there and just try to win games for everybody.
It's kind of crazy though, right? Because sometimes when these things happen, you hear, all right, there are only 3 games left, or that kind of thing. You guys have essentially a half of the season still to go here, plus a bye week.
Mm-hmm.
How do you?
So sorry.
No, I got you.
How do as a team collectively? I mean, do you guys talk about that? And you know what? Look, there's still time here. I mean, maybe not to accomplish everything that you wanted to accomplish, but it's not like there's just 2 weeks left here in the season.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we obviously know that we're not a bad football team. We just need to learn how to finish football games and play 60 minutes and not 50 minutes. So just continue to go out there and showcase what we can do, and obviously just want to get some wins on the board.
Is there any sense of playing for CAF a little bit?
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, he wants to go out there. He wants to coach. Obviously, he's going to coach his ass off, and we want to play our ass off for him.